various elements, how to use an aside. So we used a header, we used footers, we used section, we used nav bars, navigation, divs and spans, all these various elements we are using. All these are the elements we have seen main, right? Yesterday we learned about how to use icons. We learned how to use bootstrap icons. Have you tried? Icons, have you tried? Working fine? Right? If for anyone it is not working, you can bring the problem what you are facing on your computer so that I can see. Right? If anything is not working, you can bring your laptop, or online people, anyone not working, then they can at the end of the session, I can access their screen and see what problem they are facing. If anyone is facing problem online also. So yesterday we learned how to design some toolbars, navigation toolbars, how to create them. Now, so many other things are there in the body section. One by one will come now. We learned header, footer, section, how to design nav bars and some options. Now inside the pages, HTML pages, you need to know about the other options and various other elements. Actually, we first have to know about basic HTML entities. The first basic HTML entities. Already I given so many list, aside, article and all. We will use them. Situation wise, we have to use them. Already I told you that these are all containers. Now, what are the basic HTML entities you need to know? Why we need these basic entities? Because actually HTML cannot present the content exactly as defined in editor. HTML cannot present the content exactly as defined in editor. Usually what happens is browser transforms the presentation. Browser is going to transform the presentation. Transforming is change. It is going to change the presentation. Due to that, what happens? What you are expecting is not presented in the same way. How you written in editor and how you see in browser will be different. So that is the reason. So we have to use various HTML entities. We have to use various HTML entities. Like, what are those entities? I will show you now. Why we need those entities? Because, see, I will create another page, another HTML page in public folder, some home.html. And in this, we will create the basic structure, and we will keep home, and here we will put simple HTML, and it is a markup language, and it is used for presentation. That is how I designed. Now I designed 3 lines, and when I run this, you can see it is displayed in one line. That means how you are writing in editor and how it is showing in browser are not same. So it cannot present exactly the content how it is defined in editor. Transformations happen actually. That means browser will change the presentation. Then how we can present in the same way how it is in the editor. For that you need some basic entities. Now in this first thing, what is missing is, the first option missing is line breaks. The first option missing is line break. Line breaks after every line, so the break is not working. That means after HTML, it should come to next line. After markup language, it should come to next line. That means in editor you written 3 lines, but these line breaks are not working. So we have to manually add the line breaks by using BR. BR is used to add a line break. It is used to add a line break. And it is a void element. You know what is a void element? That means it doesn't require any end tag. Void element means you don't need an end tag. Already we discussed void elements, normal elements, various types of elements in HTML. So you just use BR. So what we have to do, after HTML, I'm adding a BR, line break. And after markup language, again a line break. After this, there is no line to come, so then you can leave it. Now you can see, now it looks better. So we have to add line breaks manually. For that, we have to use just this BR for adding line breaks. And important, you can add line break anywhere. It doesn't mean that line break will come at the end of line. Anywhere you can write the element. Suppose after the word for, I am writing BR. That means after for, it will break the line. That means it comes to the next line. It comes to next line. So it is not like line breaks are written at the end of line. Anywhere you want, you can break. So that is line break, how you have to use line breaks. And the question is, why should we use? Why should we use? Because by default, whatever line breaks you give in the editor, they are not taken by browser. So you have to manually add line breaks. Now in many interviews, they ask questions like, what is difference between BR and some BR slash? So that is very common question, actually sometimes asked in interviews. Actually, both are same. In HTML, there is no BR slash. There is no BR slash. So both are same. In HTML, there is no BR slash. Then why people have an habit of using it? That means why people write that BR slash and how do we use it? Actually, there is no BR slash, both are same. Then why do people write like this actually? Generally, that is because of editors. Currently, we are using which editor for HTML? Visual Studio Code. Now you see, when you are typing something, paragraph or something, it is showing some help, am I right? It is showing some IntelliSense. Now you may be thinking that whatever IntelliSense it shows here, it is correct. No, it is not correct. It's not correct. So many are outdated. So many are not in use. That means who are these Visual Studio people? Are these people who built HTML? No. Then whatever they provide is not correct about HTML. So we cannot trust them. We can take help of them, but you cannot trust every time. For example, you want to go to some location. You put Google Maps. 100%. It's just guidance. Sometimes it may misguide you. Obviously. So you cannot say that 100% it will take me to that location. It may misguide so many times. That means you cannot trust this because these are not the people who built it. So suppose you see, I said John, it will put an end tag for John. There is no John tag at all in HTML. Then how come it puts an end tag for it? That means it thinks that whatever you write in angle bracket is a HTML thing. So blindly it is showing you some suggestions. Some suggestions are acceptable. Some we don't follow. Don't simply trust and depend on the help provided by these editors. So these editors are not professionally by HTML. So many options are not suitable for current generation. That is the reason generally what happens is these editors don't know what are void elements, what are normal elements and all. Then sometimes what happens when I write BR like this, some editors will show warning saying that, are you missing end tag? There is no end tag for this. Why I am missing? I am not missing it. But editor thinks that you are missing because it doesn't know. Editor don't know that this is a void element and doesn't require a end tag. We know and we are sure that there is no end tag. In that case, editor will show warnings. Due to that, it will irritate developers. That I am writing correctly, it is showing error, not error, warning. So many warnings in my code will irritate me. That is the reason what developers have an habit is to satisfy the editor. What they do is they tell the editor that slash, that means it is self-ending element. The slash means self-ending. Self-ending means it doesn't require an end. But remember, there is no BR slash in HTML. Even you write BR slash, it will work. Suppose I am writing here also BR slash. It will work. You can see it is working. But observe when I go to inspect, right click and inspect. And I go to browser. In the browser, see here in the body section, all are BR only. All are BR only. Then why you written BR slash? Time waste. Right? That means browser knows that there is no BR slash. You are writing for satisfying the editors. So it is complete time waste. That means you don't need to follow it. But still in companies they ask, in interviews they ask this question. What is difference between these two? Have you used this or not? Right? So generally we don't need to write slash for void elements. Generally they end. Why we write? Because to suppress the warnings given by editors. So both are same. In HTML there is no BR slash. What we do to suppress the warnings, provided by editor, we use slash for self-ending elements, for you can void elements. For void elements, we can do that. So no need to do that. So for void elements, you need to define it, right? So what is missing in HTML? Line breaks are missing. How do we add line breaks? Manually by using BR. Do I need to use BR or BR slash? Only BR. There is no BR slash. But still in interviews, they ask why we need BR slash. There is no need. Just to suppress warnings, you have to use that. Okay, that is. Second important is blank spaces. Blank spaces. Blank spaces are defined by using ampersand NBSP semicolon. That is blank spaces. Ampersand NBSP semicolon. It is used for blank space. Why? Because actually in HTML, one character space is allowed. One character space is allowed between characters or between words. Between characters, between words, one character space is allowed. Any extra space you give, it will be removed. Automatically, it will be removed. So any space extra you give, it will be removed. One space allowed. That means here you see, I am writing space between it, space is, it is taking it. You can see it, space is. Now I am using space between H, T, M, L. One character space I am giving. It is also allowed. It is giving one character space between those letters. I am giving more. I want more space. H, 2 character space. T, 2 character space. L, 2 character space, and save. And it is not working. That means it is not taking any additional space. So one character space is allowed, but more than that you give, it will remove it, trim this. So if you want some additional space, then you have to manually add the space. Manually adding the space is like this. So one space already comes. To that you have to add another space, ampersand NBSP semicolon. That is one space. Another space again, ampersand NBSP semicolon. It is non-breakable space. Non-breakable space. That is called NBSP. Now the same, I am using 2 characters after one character space. Similarly, after T, after M also I am giving. That means now I will save this and you can see that it will get that space extra here. That means it will get more space and it will display. Right? That is generally adding blank spaces. How do we add line breaks and how do we use blank space? So technically, suppose you are writing H and here I am using blank space and say T and blank space M and blank space L. Like this I am defining. So you can add additional spaces. You can add additional spaces and you can configure. So for every blank space you have to use this, right? But important is actually note, you have to notice, try avoiding BR and ampersand NBSP. Try avoiding BR and ampersand NBSP. So always use styles. Always use styles. Don't use this BR ampersand NBSP in the modern web development. Means once you are becoming professional in design, we avoid some basics every time and we use more professional things. That means a lot of shortcuts will be there. As a software developer, while learning, so many topics you will learn in a sequence. So many topics you will learn from very basic level. But once you become professional in software development, we avoid using basic and we use highly professional things so that they are more faster and simpler. But you need to know both basic as well as professionally advanced. Why? Because where we cannot use professionally advanced, then there we have to go with basic. I will tell you one example. Suppose you are using Gmail. When you are using Gmail, in Gmail, in order to attach files, you have an option drag and drop. You can drag, drop and attach a file. Gmail, Google Drive and all these. Suppose in order to use that facility, your internet connection must have a high speed. If your internet connection is very slow, then drag drop like facilities you cannot use. That means what? People with high speed connection only can use Gmail. That's not good. You cannot design a website for rich people. Anything you design for rich people, it will flop. It will fail. It cannot make any business. We have to develop everything for middle class and poor level. Then only it will become success. Any business website. For example, you know, generally, means technically you may not know. If I ask you, which TV channel is most viewed TV channel in the world? What do you think? Which TV channel is most viewed TV channel in the world? Answer is Doordarshan. You always rich, Star, Sony. Huh? Do you know 80% of our population is not having access to cable TV? I hope you know this, general statistics. They depend on still Doordarshan only. Right? You are the luckiest people in the urban areas and all having access to all these. 70-80% of our population itself don't have access to these things. They don't have much internet. So that means their only source is Doordarshan. Doordarshan, do you know, it have 180 terminals. It have its own 6 satellites. 180 terminals. That means Star, G, all these have maximum 10 or 15. Star Plus, Star movies like that. Doordarshan have 180. They have their own 6 satellites. And 80% of Indian people are watching means world's top. That means you always imagine for high level, then your business will fail. We have to develop websites very simple. If you design website complicated with high animations, graphics, and which will not work on low internet speed, then people cannot access. Then obviously it will fail. So that is the reason we have to develop websites for 2 people. That means for low connection speed, I hope you have observed, if your internet connection is slow, then Gmail will show a message. We see that your connection is slow. Do you want to switch to HTML version? It will ask. Have you observed? You can switch to HTML version. In HTML version, you can upload file. but no drag drop. You have to click browse button, select a file, then click attach button, then it will upload. Have you tried both? That means if you are using low connection, one facility must be there. Now people who have high speed, they will ask, what is use of high speed for me? Understood? That means people ask like, I am having 100 Mbps. 100 Mbps, then what is facility you are giving to me? Then we will say that, okay, if you have high speed, then you can drag and drop. If you have low speed, browse and select the file and attach. We have to develop website for both. This is called differential loading actually. That means we have to develop applications which have to reach wide range of people. It should work for low as well as high. We have to develop multiple versions of same application several times. That means everybody, even YouTube like people also, now they changed. Have you observed? Earlier, YouTube and now is, if you have low connection speed, your YouTube video will not stop. It will change the quality of video. Have you observed? Earlier, it stops and says buffer. These days, those buffering options not there. Netflix or Amazon Prime Video or any OTT channels, when you are watching a video, there is no buffering. Either start video or change the quality of video. Show in low quality if connection speed is low. If connection speed high, then high quality. It will change. There is a setting now, auto. Right? That means we need to develop with advanced features as well as low. So this is low features. Advanced features means what? What we do by using styles. By using styles, what you can do, you can apply space, you can put breaks and all. Later we will see. In CSS, you will learn how to put breaks, how to give spaces and all. You can give line spacing, you can give word spacing, you can give letter spacing and all. You can define that. So two options are there. One is line breaks, another one blank. Avoid using this. We can try like this. You see now here, I will remove this part. I will remove that part. I will just put in a div now. Okay. In the div, I am giving HTML. Now it is ordinary. It is showing ordinary. Now what we will do, we write a style. In style, what we do, wherever div is present, we will use the option letter spacing. Letter spacing 40 pixels. Then you can see it sets the space between letters. You don't need to use ampersand NBSP. That means now you will ask, both are same. Both are same, but one problem is there. Here you are applying through an external option. That will be little slow. Understood? Applying through an external option is slow. Applying locally is fast. Ampersand NBSP is fast. Style letter spacing is slow. Letter spacing is slow. That means actually in the beginning I explained you DOM. Am I right? What is it? Document object model. Actually we have HTML. HTML uses DOM. Styles uses CSS OM. CSS object model. That means two object models will be there. One is HTML object model is DOM. CSS object model is related to styles. Now ampersand NBSP semicolon, it comes under actual DOM. That means it is native to HTML, easily it can understand, fastly it can apply. But whatever you written, letter spacing, am I right? You used letter spacing 30 pixels or something like this you written. This have to come from another document model and apply to this DOM. Understood? Then it will take time.
Right.
So if you want easy, then you have to apply through external, but it is little slow. You are okay with that, then apply. Because lot of effects we apply externally. In that case, this is fine. Now I want to reduce this little bit. I want to make it little bit fast. Then you can write locally ampersand NBSP. So as a developer, now in the current generation, we are not much concerned about speed. We are concerned about speed, but not much. These simple things will not make much difference. That is the reason we are not using ampersand NBSP much. Instead of that, we use styles. How do we apply the styles? Suppose there is a div, we have to use what? Letter spacing. How many pixels you have to tell. Like this, you can apply. So that is how we can use breaks and how we can use blank spaces, right? Two important options are there, line breaks, another one blank. Next important, third, we have pre-formatted text. Pre-formatted text. Line breaks are defined with BR, blank spaces are defined with ampersand NBSP, and pre-formatted text, it is defined by using pre. It is defined by using pre. What is this pre-formatted text actually? Pre-formatted text is nothing but, now for example, I am trying to present some content here. You see here, I am keeping a heading. So sample C program, something like this. I am writing another div. Okay. Now in this, I am writing some structured program. Our intention is not to write any C program to compile. This is just like tutorial. I am showing some notes to general people who want to learn some technology. I am writing like this, hash include stdio.h, like this I am writing. So, and here I am writing main, and I am writing a parenthesis printf, some welcome to HTML, something like this I am writing. My intention is to present this block as it is. I don't care. I don't know any programming here, right? You don't worry about what is this program. Our intention is I want presentation like this and I written like this. Then you see it will transform that everything into like this. I will remove line spacing. I will remove this line spacing, letter spacing. You can see it looks like this. Now I need to show exactly how it is in the block. Then you learned line breaks. You learned about how to use spaces. One more, here stdio.h is missing. Why? Because anything I written in angle bracket, it thinks it is a tag. But for us, it is not tag. It is just a word I want to show. And it should have these braces. In HTML, you cannot present anything in the angle brackets. Not possible at all. Why? Because you write angle bracket, it thinks tag. Then we have an habit of printing angle bracket without writing it. How is? We remove this. We use ampersand LT, that is less than. And here we will use ampersand GT, that is greater than. Then it is able to print that. You can see it prints. Otherwise, it thinks that it is a tag if you write a direct angle brackets. Now we are printing it, fine. Next problem is Here, after this, I want a break, then I will use a BR. After main, I need a break, then I will use BR. After this, I need a break, I will use BR. After this, I need two spaces, then ampersand NBSP. This is too risky. Like this, how much you will present? Then what you can do is, if you have to present such blocks, then simple, you can put this instead of div, you can put this in pre. You put this entire block in pre. What is advantage of pre is, pre can present the content with the spaces and line breaks exactly how you mentioned in the code. Remember, only spaces and line breaks. How you mentioned the spaces, how you mentioned the line breaks, exactly in the same way it can present. Now I will save this and you can see it's working. It's very simple. Its font style is different, that you can change with CSS and all. But what is advantage? You don't need to depend on BR, ampersand, NBSP to present such blocks. We have to just enclose that content in a pre. Now, many times people ask this doubt because suppose previously what we were doing angle bracket. Now, many times people ask that, sir, if I use pre, this can it print this also exactly like that? No, I am talking about pre related to only spaces and breaks. Understood? That means it is about only space and breaks. It is about only spaces and breaks. That means you cannot use this. You can see stdio.h is not working. You have to define only spaces and breaks. That means pre is for only space and break. That means how we have to define, we have to remove this ampersand LT. How you have to define ampersand GT. So this is how we need to configure. That means pre is not about these tags. Pre is about only spaces, line breaks and spaces. If you have a lot of content to display using breaks and spaces, then always use this pre-formatted text. Pre-formatted text. You have to use which element for that? Pre. So this is one simple example. Just example, I will copy this. This body I will copy. Everything I need not to give, right? In the notes, I will copy this body section because above everything same, right? HTML, head and everything you have to write. Now, these are three important options. One is line break, another one blank spaces, another one pre-format. Now, in HTML, in entities, you have several options like we have another option. We have the option called code and variables. Code and variables. For code and variables, we have code and we have var. Var and code are used for code and variables. Actually, this is a new concept. This is very much is in use now. In current generation, we are using this very much. But this is not for everybody. Every website don't need that. Only few people need this. For example, I hope you heard about coding playgrounds. You heard code playgrounds? No? Suppose you are learning technologies like Java, .NET, PHP, Python, C, C++. You are learning some technologies. You want to practice. And if you want to practice, usually you need a good laptop computer with the softwares installed, whatever softwares I showed you, install and use them. But these days we have online playgrounds. These days we are having online playgrounds. Online playgrounds are nothing but you just have a mobile. Mobile is enough. You don't need to install any software. Without installing any software, you can directly open in a browser. You can write the program, compile the programs, execute and see output. Only the point is they are not saved. You just write, run and test. You don't need to download, install any software. That means even you can practice your Java, .NET and other technologies like just on mobile without installing anything. So online, so many playgrounds are available. For example, you see JS Fiddle is one that JS Fiddle, this is actually code playground. This is one code playground here. You can see this is one JS Fiddle is one code playground. This is one code playground. That means HTML, CSS, JavaScript, everything you can write here. Actually, what we are doing, we are installing Visual Studio Code and doing all this. But here you see, just you write your HTML. So welcome to HTML. I'm just writing in a, suppose a div, welcome to HTML. And I run and it will show me the output here. How it comes. That means without downloading, without installing any software, you can just use a browser. In that browser, you can write the code, you can compile, run. That means a lot of such things are now online available. Now we are in the cloud generation. In the cloud generation, you don't need to even have a hard disk. Without hard disk, your data can be stored. How? You have cloud already in mobile, you have. In mobile, you have cloud drive, na? Right? That means you don't need to use your mobile memory. You can simply upload into cloud memory. You can access from anywhere. That means you can access from any mobile. That means now we are in the cloud generation. We don't need to worry about configuration, settings and all. In the software development, entire software development is happening in cloud. That means earlier, actually, suppose in a software company, we need a server. I hope you know servers. Server means 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. It costs, server costs, medium level. Medium level server means 30, 40 lakhs minimum. Server computer to maintain, right? And all our developers are connected to that server. They work on that server. We take backup of data, keep everything on that server. Now you pay monthly 100 rupees, 200 rupees, server is given to you. Cloud, right? So yearly you pay 4,000, 5,000, a server with certain configuration is maintained for you. No headache. That means you don't need to worry about some server not working, some problems are there. You are maintaining a server in your office. Then you need a network administrator. You need a hardware engineer. Now these days we don't need anybody. You don't need anybody. In order to start a small software development company, earlier we need lakhs and crores of rupees. Now just with 5,000, 10,000, you can start your own software development company. Right? That means just you purchase your cloud account, keep everything on the cloud. We are in the cloud generation now. So that means now service is on cloud and majority of our development happening through browser only. In that case, now lot of developers are writing code in a browser. That is the reason for search engines, it is becoming difficult to understand, is it normal data or is it some code? That means you are writing something like this. The search engines are very much confused. Is this code or is this any normal data? Then generally what we do is, if this is code, you put in pre. Pre is for not losing the format. At the same time, I will show you another level here. You can write simply code. You can simply write code. In this code, suppose I am writing some variable. That means var x is equal to 10. Another one var. So here we have var. So y so is equal to some 20 like this. So and we have var some z is equal to var x plus var y. Like this we are writing. Now the search engines can identify that this is code. It is not ordinary content. They can identify that this is a variable. Var means variable. In computer programming, variable means that stores the data. So it can easily understand that this is where data is stored. That means 10 is stored in which variable x and 20 is stored in y. But this is not for general websites. These are for people who are building coding websites. For them, these are required. These are required because we need to tell the compilers and processors that this is code, this is variable. This is completely useless for ordinary website. Amazon, Flipkart, they don't need this, time waste. They doesn't know this also. They never use this also anywhere. So where they need some code to handle, then in such cases they can use it. But this is very important. Now you can see the code comes like this. And see, its appearance is different. That means x and y appearance is different because it is variable. Generally, we can add some effects also because you already know style. What we do, wherever variable is there, we can put color for variable as gray. Variable color is gray. So, and wherever code is there, here I am giving code color, I will give as red like this. Then you can see that it is going to display in this way. That means the code is red color, variables are in gray color. These kind of presentations, interactions will be more easy for developers now. But usually we don't need this for every websites. We don't need that. That's the reason many HTML people even now they don't know that there is a code option or there is a var option in HTML, right? Even at various levels, school, college level, even when you learn HTML, you never hear about code and var like concepts. Why? Because these are not regular, but these are very important to use in various occasions. So as a developer, you need to know all of them, right? So this is another example. So how we can define codes and how we can define variables, right? The codes and variables, how they are presented. That is one option. Another important option available is SAM. Actually, we call as sample text. We call as sample text. So this is sample. Sample text is defined by using SAM. Actually, it is used for comments. For comments and for general notes like content, we use this SAM. That means in such coding techniques only. In such coding techniques, what we do is sample text we display by using this SAM. Actually, you have an option. That means, so I'm giving here SAMP, SAM. This is a SAM. And in the SAMP, what I am doing here, so a program to add to numbers, a program to add to numbers. Just I written like this. This is actually SAMP. That means a program to add to numbers. And obviously, I have to keep this code in a next line. That means we will keep in a div. And you can see it looks like this. And for SAMP also, you see the font style is different from ordinary font. Ordinary font is different and sample is different. That means suppose we can add some easy effects to this. That means what you do, wherever SAMP is there, we will put the color as some blue. And wherever the sample text is there, it will put blue. It is easy for presenting and handling various types of contents. So these are not regular, but these are present in HTML. So we have to know about them. So these are so many important options now. Understood these line breaks? They are defined by using BR. Blank spaces are defined by using ampersand NBSP. Pre-formatted is defined by using pre. And code and variables are defined by using code and var. And sample text is defined by using SAM. This sample I will give you. This part, just roughly. That is just a rough example how we write something. Okay. You have to put all this in the body section while you are practicing. Another important, so we have option, which already I told you, dialog. We have dialog. Dialog is defined by using dialog, which already are given in the general elements. What is this dialog? Dialog usually shows a pop-up. Dialog pops up. Use with open, pops up with open attribute. It pops up with open attribute. Generally, dialog will not display. For example, you see here, what we will do, I will write somewhere I am writing at the top or somewhere here, I am keeping a dialog. In the dialog, I am saying chart. So with, or say simply any help like this I given. Now what we will do here, so in the dialog, you can put anything there. Now you can see the dialog is not there. Dialog will be displayed only when it is given with an attribute called open. We have to use an attribute called open, then automatically you can see dialog will open. You can see dialog comes with a box. In that any help. Now generally we control this with JavaScript. That means what we do with JavaScript, we will write one button and on button click, we will make it open. And again, inside that, we will put a close button. And if user clicks that close button, it will close. That means HTML cannot do that. HTML can just only put a dialog. Controlling it requires a lot of coding that we generally do by using JavaScript. So here we can only design. We cannot control this. Generally to control, what you have to do, you have to remove this option open here, right? And it will hide. Again, you keep it, then it will display. With CSS, JavaScript, we can control. I want it open right side corner, left side. Yesterday we done a position fixed. Anywhere you can open it, right? And you can control it. You can close, open, do so many things, but not with HTML. HTML can present only dialog. So you can on and off the dialog by using the attribute. So example, how you do dialog usually needs an open. I just written any help. So and dialog close. Dialog close. So dialog is used for, it is used for displaying. Usually it is used for displaying pop-ups. And pop-ups cannot be controlled by HTML. We have to control with JavaScript. Later in JavaScript, Bootstrap, you will learn about it. Here we are just learning how it is written. And how we can pop up? We can pop up by using open, right? That is dialog. Another option, as we already learned, article. We learn article. Article is nothing but highlights about your page. Highlights about your page you can define in article. And article is just a container, just like a div, it is a container. With CSS, you have to adjust border, height, width, and all these you have to give. Usually what we do, we write some article, we are writing article, and in the article, you are writing, suppose, so 50% off on some electronics. Like this, I am defining. That is actually article. But usually directly it looks like an ordinary div. Already we know. We have to control that by using styles. What you have to do, suppose I am giving article. So I am writing article, and for article, I will put some background color, some yellow. It will put like this. I will put some width is equal to 100, 200 pixels. It will adjust the width. I can put height. Height is some 100 pixels. It will change the height. Suppose I will give only 40 pixel height. That's like this. You can adjust the placements, alignment. You can make it round. You can put border. All such things we can do by using what? CSS, right? As of now, just article is used for displaying highlights. It is used for displaying highlights, just highlights of your website. Later, we can do lot of effects for that. Effects I will tell later. Generally, what we do is, such articles and all, when we publish, usually we keep in a marquee. Generally, that marquee will keep like this. That means it will put in a scrolling and sliding titles like that. Usually articles you will see regularly in websites like this. But those marquees we will see later. Animations, how to give, and effects, how to give. That's the reason when we are learning these things, we will feel like all looks like div only. Right? All looks like div only, but their behavioral concepts are different. We are making them search engine friendly. Right? Until or unless I don't apply some reasonable effects, you will not feel like it is an article. You will not feel like it is a dialogue and all. Right? But you should know what are the elements used for that. Right? Yeah. This is article, how you can configure the article. Next important. So we have another important address. We have address. Address is defined by using address. Address is defined by using address. Usually for any website, when you are trying to print some address, then to make the address search engine friendly, for example, you observe here, suppose in Google search. In Google search, I am searching for Flipkart address. I am using Flipkart address. So Flipkart address, then you see it is showing this address. Am I right? This is showing this address. It is showing this address. The address is, it is picking up this address. Now the question is, how search engine can pick up that address? How search engine can pick up that address? Actually, you see the Flipkart website. So Flipkart. So this is the Flipkart. Yeah. Flipkart.com. Yeah. So this is the Flipkart website. And when I open the Flipkart website, last session we designed footer. Here address is there. Na? This address is picked up automatically by search engine. How search engine knows that this part is an address? that part is an address. That means it is picking up that particular part and displaying. And observe carefully, two options are there. Mail us is there and this one is there. And if you have seen, it is picking up this one. Am I right? If you see the Google results, you see the Google result here. A Google result, it is showing that address, Bangalore. Right now in the website, I have seen two address like things. Then how come it is going to display only one? That means how it is going to display only one. That means here some more are there, na? Telephone numbers and all. Out of these two, which one to get? Both are addresses only. Then which one to get? That you can decide actually. That means how it knows that these words belongs to address something. That means search engines don't know Bangalore is a city. Right? Search engine don't know. Bangalore is a city. John is a human name. Right? So they don't know. That means they don't know any grammar. In that case, the problem here is they pick up only according to how you write. That means robots cannot pick up by themselves. You have to tell them. That means now how to tell a robot that this is address, right? Generally what we do is, when you write that address, you can put that entire, I will remove all this here. Yeah. I can just say, I can just put here. So in address block, there is an address block. In address block, I will put a pre means pre-formatted. And there I will print everything like this. That means in that pre-formatted, I am printing everything in this way. Means I am just keeping everything in an order. That means I am using pre for displaying as it is. I am using address for making it like address. If I don't use pre, then you know what to do. If I don't use pre, then what it will do? It will display everything in one line. Am I right? Let's run this and see. It is going to display everything in one line. It will display like this. But its appearance changed a little bit. It is showing italicized. Italics, na? The font style is changed to italics. But what I have to do, I have to use BR, line break everywhere. Then instead of that, what you can do here, you can put a pre. Then it will put that pre-formatted and address. That means you can keep it pre-formatted as well as address. That means it is search engine friendly, and search engine can recognize that, okay, this is your address. So generally, when you are providing address of any company, don't write in a div or span or paragraph or anywhere. Write in address. You have a separate element for that. That makes you write address. That makes it friendly. That means you write your address something. Address and close this. And close this. That is how it can configure. These are important option, how we can define the address. Another important, we already learned figure and fig caption. Am I right? These also part of general entities, elements. So figure and figure caption, already we know. For that we have to use figure and we have to use fig caption. But they are good for images. We don't have images. Later we will learn. Later we will discuss about images. As of now, just what you have to do. Generally, whenever, just I will show you how it works. Generally, when you are using images, pictures, you want to show some pictures. Every picture doesn't need a caption, but some pictures we write in a figure. We write in a figure. In the figure, we will define here. That means you will put your image here. Am I right? You put your image here. After that, we will write a fig caption. Fig caption is nothing but like fig, some 1.23 like this. This is, you can give any name for that. It will display like this. It's normal. There is no special here. But the point is later a picture will come there. That means instead of the text, we will put a picture. And the caption that you written, will be attached to that picture. Search engines can easily search for and do. That means here I will put figure. What is it? Suppose some car like this. Then what we do? The car related picture, we will keep it here. If anybody is searching for car, it can pick up that picture and show. So to make it search engine friendly, we have to use this. But how to keep a picture, that is not the concept. How to keep a picture, later we will learn about it. So that is another example, how you define. Means keeping pictures, we will see later. This is a container for picture and it's a caption. Later you will learn how do we put pictures, what are the types of pictures available. So which type, when to use, all these things we will see. So this is another one, fig caption. So whatever I told you in the top, already we done all of them now, right? All of them came. Header, footer, already we discussed it. Header, footer, section, divs, spans, and menu, nav, and main. All these concepts we learned. Already we designed them. These are additional things, how to keep the content and define. Now, when you are keeping these type of contents, one more very important requirement here is, means in many websites we will see one simple option. I told you how do we put a background picture. You remembered we learned how do we put a background picture. Now once you keep a background picture and content and everything, usually one small requirement comes every time is how to you can center, you can keep page content center on page by using following attributes, because many websites want everything on center by using following style attributes. That means generally many websites, they want their content exact center on page. A picture, a heading, or a program, something correctly center on page. For that we need to handle certain options. For example, see here, suppose you have this Netflix. You open this Netflix page. You see this is center on page. Horizontally center, vertically center, like that. Means how we can present any content center on page. For example, see, I am writing here one container. This is one main container. This is a div. I will put like this. Instead of this is one, another one we have the second line. Watch anywhere, cancel anytime. That is the second line. Now I am keeping two divs. Now one div have a class called title. Another div have a class called subtitle. Title, subtitle, two classes are there. Now we want both of them to be center on screen. Then you have to make sure that both of them are kept in one container. Both of them are kept in one container. So I will keep both of them in a main container. Understood? In a main container, we are keeping both of them. Okay. Now where is the main? Main is in which section? Body section. So what we are doing here, as of now, usually it looks like this. As of now, usually it looks like this. So see what I am doing now. That means this is the actual size. This is the original size. That is the original size actually. So what I am doing is, here I am writing body. For body section, I will give background color as black and the color I given as white. Okay. Then it will display like this. And I will write title, dot title, font size as 60. And I will give font weight as bold. Then it will be large. So I will keep it as suppose 50. That will be fine. And one more, for body, I will give font family Arial. That means entire font family will change. And I am using dot subtitle font size as 30 pixel. That is normal. Now what we need to do is, we need to keep this center on page. Then what you have to do is, for body you have to define display as flex. Display as flex. We have to use justify content center. Justify content center horizontal. Vertically, we have to give align items center. Align item center is vertical center. But vertically, body height you have to adjust. Body height, I will give some 500 pixel. Now you can see it will keep in this way. And we need to keep the text center. That means text align, we will keep as center, then it will be center. For title, I can adjust the width. Title width is, suppose here I am giving 400 pixels, then width will be adjusted like this. I want the width 600 pixels, then width will be adjusted like this. That means we can configure in this way. That means, so wherever you have defined width, according to the width it will adjust. According to the width it will adjust. And I want some space. Then what you can do, you can use margin bottom. Margin bottom some 40 pixel. Some space will come. Right, some 20 pixel. Some space will come. Some space will be adjusted. That means we are keeping the content exactly center on page. And for body, already we learned one option. Actually, we are using background color. Na? Instead of background color, body can have what? Background. What is it? We have images. Am I right? In images, what is it? Netflix banner. It will keep that image there. Instead of keeping the general content. Now we can display this in such a way that it will not dominate. It will not dominate. We can display in such a way that it will not dominate. That means what you can do is, we can blur it. We can make it little bit darker. For that you need some tricks to learn in CSS. Then you can apply. I am not showing now, later. Why? Because that is little bit complex in CSS to learn first. So here the concept is, many websites you will see lot of content kept inside center of page. And how we can make the content center on page? Content center on page, you can do it by using this technique. To keep anything center on page, what you have to use? Display, we have to keep it flex. We have to use justify content. Justify content, we have to keep center. Align items. Align items, we have to keep it to center. And make sure that you have given height. If height is not given, vertical center will not come. Height is compulsory. If height is not given, so height you can give anything. Suppose see, In the body section, I'm not giving height. I'm giving justify content, align items, display flex. Height is not given, then it will be top. It is only horizontally centered. To keep vertically centered, there must be some content. That's the reason height is compulsory. You have to define height. Then only vertical center will come. Right? Depending on how much height you give. You give 100 height, you will not get center because page height is how much? 700 pixels. Based on that, you have to show how much you want for screen. Then you can keep your content horizontally, vertically centered. So while displaying the contents, this is one important thing. This is a simple example. I will post this example also. Okay. This is keeping our content center on page. Now, once you know this, now we will see headings, paragraphs, and other options how to do. That we'll see in next session. Right? Monday we will see that. Today we have learned so many things again. You have to try all these options. Okay. In Monday, we will learn headings, paragraphs, images, and others how to manage in HTML. Monday we will continue. Okay. Right.